Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Wednesday. It's July 24th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. And a quick look at our daily chart. You can see we had a really big sell-off today. So yes, we did get follow-through selling. We pushed right on through the midline of the larger green channel. I mean, we're already in oversold territory. You can see we recovered a little bit of it right before the close, not a whole lot. Still a really bearish day. We didn't quite get a measured move in yet. We didn't quite get to the lower band yet. But we are into oversold territory. Now, even if we're going to go lower, usually you'll pull back and test this. It shot right through it with no resistance really at all. And so we'll see if we come back and test that tomorrow, or if we'll go ahead and make a measured move before we correct. We'll just have to see what tomorrow brings. But right now, this thing is really negative, really bearish. But that can change quickly. So don't get lulled to sleep here. Two measured legs down, and we may start up higher again. So but right now, we relieve that overbought situation really quickly. That's the biggest sell-off we've had since way back in early or late April, I would say. So interesting day, interesting few weeks of week or so of trading here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Wouldn't surprise me if we start out bearish and make a measured move and end up rallying some. But we could just rally tomorrow because we're certainly oversold now. We went from being overbought, extremely overbought, to being oversold in just a few days. That hadn't happened in a long time. Very bearish day. You'll see it when we flip over to the 2000 tick chart. It was just pretty much downhill all day. But let's flip over there and take a look. There were two news items. We'll talk about that on the other chart. But let's flip over. Okay, here's how I saw it. We started out with a really steep trend channel here. This one's a little too steep. And so we flattened out into this flatter one and continue to go downhill strongly. We got a break here right around lunchtime, then continued lower on a retest. Tried to rally out of there and ended up going lower before we bounced at the close. This looks like an overshoot here. Doesn't really matter. It's way after hours, but you can see everything's fitting in here fairly well. And so to me, this looks like an overshoot. Doesn't matter either way. It's well after 2:30. So, but let's zoom on in here. Lots of trades today. If you're just patient, you get some good setups, some second entries, and so forth at the key entry points. You did have to be patient. 7 o'clock came on this sell-off right here. We did bounce a little bit and did just sideways. Then we were into the news, and then we were flat again. Let me zoom in a little more here. You do have a lower high here after a double top. It looks like we're in a range already, and it breaks higher and turns down. So when it goes, this is fully bullish here, all colored, no stem at all. So when it goes past that, you could go short right there. That gives you plenty of room to get out, and that's exactly where it goes to before it bounces again. I don't see any reason to try to buy this market at all. We finally break out to the high side, hit the trend line. Actually, that's where I drew the trend line. And we break out the low side. It tries to go higher multiple times, and you get a second entry short right here at the key entry point. Works on down. This thing's looking really bearish at this point, so any signal bar at a key entry point you just about can take. Again, this one was really bullish when it broke higher, so you could trade that like an engulfing bar. I didn't mark this one. It's not a perfect bar, but it's only 4 ticks, so you might have even taken that one. and it quickly drops on down. Finally, you get a. It looks like you get a close outside. I think I've got it. It's drifted on me a little bit there. You can see they were right off the trend line there. So this is the first break in my opinion. There was a second entry short here. That's tempting to take, but there's no break of this channel, and you still got a lot of stem down there. So I think you're better off to wait. You do get a lower high right here, but very neutral bar. But it comes back again and gives you a failure right at the key entry point, pretty close to it anyway. And so it doesn't matter what your signal bar looks like on a failure. And there's plenty of room to the lows here. So I like going short there. And then we keep just working lower. And again, we get another setup right here. Relatively bullish bar. It breaks higher and fails and turns down. When it goes past that, I like entering again. Again, this is a first entry, but you can see how bearish this thing is. This is a really steep channel too. And it's all setting up right at the EMA. If you recognize that it's a really strong trend like that, you know, take that trade. Maybe I should have made this one green, but I like it all the same. And so I marked it red. Now this one's at a key entry point too, but we're getting farther away from the EMA, so I'm not as crazy about it. And you do have to go short at the very low of the move there, so I'm not as crazy about it. And then finally we get a break here. You get a second entry there, but no signal bar. You get a lower high, but no signal bar. You are still in this channel too, so it's not really an ideal place to be going short just yet. But you do get your break, move back to the highs, and notice how you try to go higher once, twice. It's basically you've got a triple test that turns down right off this new trend line. Very bearish bar. I like that one. There's a lower high here, but that looks congested, and you've moved, you know, you're below the EMA. I think you've moved too far there for a lower high. That does set up for a failure, but you get those matching lows. If that would have went on past that, I would say probably enter there, but it didn't. So just kind of sit tight on that one. And finally you get your close outside, but then you do get two legs down, but then you're just kind of chopping sideways here. That one was tempted, but it just looks really congested, but it's far away from the EMA. If that would have been a more bullish signal bar that closed above those two bar matching highs, I might say go long there, but I think you got to sit that one out. And of course it does run back up. You get a triple test across there, and it turns down right off the key entry point. You could call that a double bottom, so you could also call that a second entry short, although we're not really looking for that in. You're just playing this sideways range in the bigger picture downtrend. You do get a lower high here, but again, the signal bar is not any good. Drops on down. You quickly get a second entry short right there. If you didn't enter below that signal bar, I think that qualifies. But this one has a two bar matching high. Just go short right there. If you didn't take the first one, you could take either one of those. Because of the two bar matching high, they're the same. You can take either one of them. There's a lower high here, but again, just not enough room to scalp out. Even though it's a really strong trend, you do have your close outside and a new low, so I'd sit tight. And this time you do bounce early. You don't get all the way down there, but you come back up and you're starting to turn down early here. So this one's a little, it's a little harder to take these trades when you're not getting back to the trend line. So there is a failure here, but then you get an inside bar, so it doesn't break below. So I'm not crazy about that one. This is just a first entry, sideways, and then we're bouncing again. But notice you get two legs up in the second entry. It's not really back to the trend line, but you get a close outside and a new high on this all in one. It looks like we kind of break out, get a close outside here, but I don't know if that's convincing enough. But a second entry short that close to the trend line in a downtrend, take it. There's a lower high here, but again, the signal bar is just not very good. If you got a good signal bar there, take that one. But you do get a new high there, and then a first entry, second entry, so you got another failure right here in a continuation pattern and a humongously strong downtrend. Nice signal bar, just take it. I mean, you know, when you get this strong of a downtrend, obviously you want to be, you know, you don't want to just be foolish, but you don't have to be as picky. You just can't make any mistakes. So that's the first break of that trend, that khaki trend. So it's probably going to make a retest, and it easily makes a strong one. And so you probably get a runner here as well. And then you get a trend back up. You would think you'd get a retest there. You do end up getting one, but before that, you get a second entry short, meaning you might get another measured leg down. That signal bar is a little iffy. I marked it green. Does that close in the lower 1/3? It's close. So I marked that one green. It's a possibility. It would have worked. And then we bounce, and we do get a break this time. But you could tell there's a break coming because we're not getting all the way down. We're starting to slant to the, you know, each time we're moving a little bit higher here. But notice this move up. You get a close outside, and you get two legs up to a new high. So a bearish bar way away from the EMA. I like going short there. Again, you get a lower high here, but we've moved too far for that. Then it rallies back up again, close outside. I don't see anything you can trade there. It's a really nice move down, but you just don't get a chance to really enter it. There's a second entry there, but you got all that congestion and not a very good signal bar ever. So I just sit tight on that one. You get another correction here. Again, a second entry short, but you got to trade an inside bar, which is never a good idea. Here we come back to the trend line again and confirm it. I didn't mark this one, but it's a very bearish signal bar at the key entry point, and it looks like the momentum's picked back up yet here again. The only problem with that one is we do have a break in a new low, so I'm a little nervous entering right there, but I mean, you might could argue for it to be green. I mean, this is one of those days where everything is just bearish and everything's going lower. And you can see here you get a failed second entry long, but you just all these inside bars too congested. Just skip it. Again, it's a great move. And here's another signal bar, but you do have a break in new low here. And we didn't quite get back to the key entry point. There's a good chance there's going to be two legs back. Doesn't happen, but I'd sit tight on that one. Then we correct here. You finally get a close outside the new high all in one bar. And that is a second entry short. It breaks higher, fails, and turns down. You can't trade that on the engulfing, but you could go short one tick below that on and it is a second entry short right at the midline. You get a lower high here with another nice signal bar. There's a failure here, but that looks too sideways, congested. We're not really trending strongly anymore, so you can't take that one way down here. It's not where you're really looking. You're looking for, you've already got a break here, so it's not a continuation pattern. A continuation pattern would be off the main trend line. But it drops on down, still hasn't made a new low, and you get a first entry, second entry with a great signal bar that's a whopping 5 ticks. I mean, that's very low risk. Take that trade. You get the same thing again, another second entry short. Now you've got a double, maybe even a triple test. Second entry short with another nice signal bar that breaks higher first. I mean, they're trapping people here every time. And then you get a lower high, and that one gives you a little room, so you can trade that one. I like it too. And that takes us into 230. So, I mean, that was probably one of the best hour. I mean, that's all in the last hour of trading between 130 and 230, basically. Really, it's almost between 2 o'clock and maybe just before 2 o'clock to 2:30. So that's the best 30 or 40 minutes of trading we've had in I don't know when. Perfect triple tests right at the EMA, the midline. There's some good trading there. And this whole day is some fairly decent trading. I mean, this is the kind of days you like to get. And hopefully somewhere in here you catch a runner and try to hold it as long as you can, because you just try to get a hold of one and just hang on and ride it as far as you can until you can't stand it anymore. You got so much profit you're happy, because you don't get a lot of days like this. And this was a very nice trading day, all downhill, really all the way into the close. I mean, we bounced right there at the close, but I mean, that bounce probably happened in, well, let's just see, 1558. Why is that doing that? I don't know why I can't get that bar to give me a time. I don't know what the deal is. I can't get any of them to give me a time now. But this bar closed at 1558, so that closed within 2 minutes of the close. So we probably got that whole move. I mean, you can see the time here. It's got to be 1557 or so, 56. Well, 56 is right in here. So all that had to happen in a minute. So we rallied maybe 65 to, we rallied 20 points in 1 minute. It's crazy. But that's people taking profits, I guess, not wanting to carry it in overnight and have it gap open against them again or something. So anyway, there it is. Really great trading day. I hope you took advantage of it. If you're patient and you wait on the second entries on a day like this, you can't hardly go wrong, especially if they're the key entry points. There's a bunch of them here. There's other trades as well that I marked, but hopefully you had a good day today. If you didn't, this is what you want to wait on and learn how to be patient and learn how to wait on the right setups. And so study this chart closely, especially if you struggle, because this is about as easy as it gets right here. If you struggle on a day like this, and usually when people struggle on a day like this, you'll go back and find out they were trying to pick a low. They were trying to buy the low thinking they were catching a low the whole way down. Don't do that on a day like this. Just stay with the trend. So it's a good learning lesson, whether you had a good day or a bad day, because I bet you if you had a bad day, you were trying to pick bottoms all the way down. And that's a losing strategy, especially on a strong trend day. And one thing I can tell you for certain, when you got a strong trend down like this, you can make mistakes and still make money. But if you're counter trend trading and you make a mistake, you're going to lose your shirt. But if you're entering with the trend near the key entry point, any setups near the key entry point on a down day like this, it's just, you can make mistakes and be early, timing be off, whatever, and you can still make money. It's very forgiving. But if you try to counter trend trade, it's very unforgiving, and you just lose your shirt. It's what you do. So I'm guessing that if you had a bad day, you either couldn't find the trend lines, or you didn't follow the rules, or you were trying to pick bottoms. And I guarantee there's somebody watching this video that tried to pick bottoms all the way down and they got burned. If that's you, learn from this. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Nothing much. I mean, this is, like I said, this is about the easiest day you're going to get. Doesn't get much better than this. So I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. We'll see if we get any follow through tomorrow. Or if we're going to rally a little bit, or just, we might even consolidate after a big down day like this. A lot of times you just get a little range type consolidation day. But we'll see. I mean, this market, who knows what we're going to see tomorrow. I wasn't surprised that we got follow through selling today. That didn't surprise me. But how strong a selling and how much volume is here really surprises me. I'm shocked almost. So um, we'll see what tomorrow brings. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow and wrap up our week. Tomorrow's Thursday. No chart lessons on Fridays. Therefore, we'll be wrapping up our week tomorrow. But I'm out of here. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.